today we're going to be installing the air intake, FS intake box. I've already gotten the intake system on it. Now right now I've taken all the parts out. To install this box you are going to need to kind of clear everything out and do it in a certain order, otherwise it won't all come together. One thing you'll notice in the kit is this little bracket here. There's a ground wire that does attach to that bolt. You'll take the bolt that's in there, and Cobb supplies you with a new one. I put the ground wire behind this bracket, so it's actually in behind against this frame where it was, or against the firewall or fender wall where it was before. So that's how I put it back in there. So go ahead and throw that on first. I went ahead and replaced the post MAF hose as well. But you can't have that on, it's not going to come into play for right now. The mass airflow sensor you're going to reroute. It won't come in over top anymore, it's actually going to come in from the bottom, wrap around under everything. So you'll want to get that loose. They give you new hoses as well. Jeez, slow down here. They give you new coolant hoses. I went ahead and already swapped those. I've actually already had this on the car. I was taking it out for an oil leak. Grab a light here. An oil leak down there, and I was checking it out, so I figured while I had it out I'd kind of give a quick run through on how the box goes in. So we'll go ahead and start. Basically what I'm going to do is just install the heat shield pieces parts here. It's pretty straightforward on where it goes. Obviously the hole is going to go where the tube comes through, so that hole obviously going to go down here. It is a good idea to take, I believe this is a power steering reservoir, loose off its bracket and down in there. Grab the light again. There's a bolt you got to get to mount it, and with this in its bracket it's kind of in the way, so you just want to take it loose, get out of the way, and you'll see that hole right there. You'll put that one corner of the heat shield in. Alright. So we got it in. I don't have it tightened down or anything yet, but up here by your boost control there's a little bolt here you take out right here. Jeez. And you're going to pull this plate, which is under here, out of the way. Slide the heat shield in behind it, put the bolt back through, tighten that down. That is a, I believe, a 10 millimeter. This guy right here, 10 millimeter. Throw that in there. Cobb does say in the instructions, which you don't get with the kit. You have to go online to get it. They don't send it in the box. This part right here, where the air snorkel comes in into the fender, they say you may want to take that out for clearance issues. I was able to get it in without taking it out, but they do have instructions on how to do that. Basically, you're going to go inside where the wheel well is and pull it out that way. But I did leave mine in. Okay, so the next bolt on the corner by that power steering reservoir, I actually got a really long extension to just reach down in there. You can get your hands in there, but it's kind of difficult, so I just get a socket and a long extension, so I don't have to stick my hands down inside there, because it is kind of tight. Yeah, that last part I lied. Get your hands down there and get it started. or you can put like grease or tape on the bolt to hold it in the socket. Mine's not magnetic, obviously. But yeah, just get something in there, get it started. It is a little difficult, but once you get it down there, you should go right in. Okay. So since I've already had this in the car, since I've already had it in the car, I already have the bracket attached to the MAF sensor housing. You can actually put this bracket on before you put the box in. It is kind of hard. You got to get your hand reach down underneath to get this screw to attach it to the housing. You can do it. That's how I did it the first time. Since I already had it in, it's already attached. I just put the heat shield in, and I'm able to still get this down in there and get it tightened down without too much of a problem. So you can do it either way. But again, we're going to see if I can do this. Lay this down in there, and we're going to go under those brake lines again with that bracket. So it's underneath the brake line. It's kind of bound up in here. You can bend that bracket a little bit to help with that, but you can see kind of is hitting right on this top edge here. There it is, hitting right there. So you can kind of get it down in there. It pops right through. And then once you do that, just push it in to your little hose there. Alright, so we got that in. We'll just tighten down our brackets bolt again down there. Let's see. Where are we? This is hard to see in there, but there it is. We'll tighten it down there. Hold that in, kind of adjust the tube and everything before we get the filter in. You do want to make sure you don't have your filter on when you do this, because it will not fit as you're trying to fight it in there. Sensor hose or wire, the plug for the mass airflow sensor. Normally you'll see it come around the top, across the top of the sensor there, but it's actually now going to come underneath. You do have to reroute it. They did notch down in here a couple notches for the brake lines, and then also for this wire harness here to bring it around. So you'll just end up wrapping it around the other way, plugging it in, and it's going to tuck under there when we're all done. And it looks like I need a new one, but that's alright. Alright, so when I had this out, I noticed there was a little bit of wear inside the housing where the mass airflow sensor was rubbing against it. So I actually, I don't know if you'll notice if you get it, that housing comes with 3 different places to put the bolt or the bracket that holds it. And I actually just rotated it, so now this sensor is pointing down, which makes this plug a little easier to plug in. Doesn't have to reach as far. And tighten it down. Now it's not rubbing. Got plenty of clearance, so that seems to be a better option. You could also rotate it the other way. Either way, you're getting a little clearance. So, but if you can run it straight up, I probably would. I don't know if it'll matter. I don't see why. I'll double check online, on Cobb's notes if that's an issue or not. But as of right now, that's how I'm going to run with it, because it seems to give me a little better clearance.
The motivation's all wrong. Not your decision. The detonation of a time bomb. Which way is up when your high is low? It's time to find it. Are you ready to go? Bloodshot against the clear blue sky. Tick tock, I think the well is running dry. I can't lie.
A couple quick things to point out too. Is I did get the post MAF sensor housing hose. The only downside with that, getting at least from Cobb, was they don't give you new hose clamps. These are just still the factory ones. I did do the throttle body from Perrin, and they gave you two heavy duty, really nice hose clamps. Also, it's got their name etched in on it too. I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty sweet. So I really like them. I wish Cobb would have done that personally, but it's whatever. Still works. Last thing we have to do, since you can see this is what it looks like with the filter in. Like I said, there's a little bit of a clearance issue there, so you may want to take it out. It clears, but it is pretty close, so you can take that out. But like I said, I didn't need to. So last thing we got to do is put the lid on. They give you like one long strip of this rubber stuff to put on the edges. You don't have to, but basically all I did was measure each side, cut it, put it on, measure the next side, cut it, put it on. Little bit of issue with tightening down the screws. Being my car's been hit before in this front end, I'm guessing that's what has to do with it, but the holes don't want to line up, and that has to do with a little bit of this bracket in the corner. You can move it up and down, but again, it's hitting here. So play with it. You may have a little trouble fitting that piece on, at least making it right away. I was able to get all the screws in, but this top lid is pretty flexible too as far as setting into place, so it wasn't too bad, but you may have a little bit of fitment issue with that. I think that was really the hardest part, was getting it on. Snap this. What's it going? That's back in. Power steering's back on. I'll tighten that box on. Then we will throw this guy back in here. So that'll fill that gap right in there. And that's kind of what it looks like. I'll get an end shot when we're all done, but pretty simple. It doesn't take too long either. So you'll get these little lid screws. They come with a little like nylon, little washer on it. Make sure you put those on so you don't scratch anything. All right, there it is, all done. Now I'll point out kind of all the parts you get with it real quick. You obviously get the heat shield, the lid, the rubber covers here, like I said, some screws with some nylon washers to put on the lid. You do not get the hose. Like I said, I ordered that separate. I already had the SF intake, so I already had the tube. Now you can order it as a whole kit with the heat shield, the intake, and everything. I already had the intake. I just added the shield here recently. You also get some new coolant lines to kind of lengthen them, because you do have to reroute them. There are clips I didn't point out, but there are some clips that attach it to the side of the box. There's one there and there's one back down there as well. So you can clip those on, keep them out of harm's way. You do have to take the cover off of here, off of your boost control solenoid housing, whatever they want to call that. That does not fit anymore, so that does kind of get in the way. You got to take that off, but outside of that, it's pretty nice. Little disappointing with this hose. They didn't give me new clamps, like I said before. But you don't have to worry about losing any loss of sound. It doesn't affect that at all. You do still get the cool whoosh sound as the car, as you let off the throttle and all that. There we go. So you still get all that. So there you go. We finally completed that. I've actually had it on there for a long while, but I decided to, since I had it off, to kind of do a quick how-to on that. I also got a Cobb short throw put on. Maybe we will. Here, I'll put this guy up here. I'll do maybe. I got a day off coming up. Maybe we'll run through on how I did that. I had to make this one custom fit because the one I wanted they didn't have in the right barrel size, which I'll go over on that. But yeah, like the video if you like it. If you want to see more, just let me know. I got some extra things happening to the car here soon, hopefully. I got some money saved up. We do have to do a clutch. Obviously the flywheel as well. It's starting to go out, so we're going to be doing that. I'll try to make a video on that. That's a pretty big job. We'll see what we can do with that one. Big shout out to Rally Sport Direct because they're pretty awesome. Had some issues with finding out what I needed to make things work, and they were right there to take care of it. They even have a tech help right on their website, so it's pretty awesome there. So look for your parts there. Definitely they can get you covered. Cobb's pretty good as well. They answer questions if you have any questions on any of their products. But there you go. That's Full Money Garage.
Bang, bang, 'cause the feeling's in the head. Bang, bang, 'cause the needle's